Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very special guest, my consultant, Dr. Karoshi, or Mr. Karoshi actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. I'm Mr Karoshi, consultant obstetrician gynecologist based at Royal Free London Hospital, Barnet site.
Do you work anywhere else, or is it just?
I do private practice in central London and in North London.
So I've got lots of questions you guys have sent in for us, and we're just going to go through them one by one. So I think one of the most common questions everyone asks, which is what everyone wants to know, is why you chose obstetrics and gynaecology as a profession, as a specialty.
My mother was an inspiration. She didn't have any daughters, and she suffered lots of gynecological problems. And as a kid, we used to go to her and see her in the hospital. Yeah, I mean, all she had was heavy periods, which were not managed correctly. This is about 30 years ago. So that inspired her to encourage me to become a doctor.
And do you have any other family members that are also doctors?
No, I'm the only family member who is the doctor. Yeah.
Second most common question, or like theme that we get asked, is how do you balance your life as a consultant in obs and gynae and sort of home life and social life?
Good question. It's dependent on your family members. Obviously, my wife understands that my job is it's not just 9 to 5, and she knows, and she's a part-time GP.
Yeah.
So she knows kind of work I do. And my son also, he's a grown-up one, so he also understands, my dad's job is not daytime job. It's
not the standard.
So it's a family understanding.
Okay. So basically, have people around you that understand.
Correct. Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah.
So, what are the pros and cons of speciality?
Pros and cons. Pros is obviously my job is I'm an obstetrician and a gynecologist. Obstetrician is delivering babies. When the outcome is good and fantastic, you see baby crying, which in many other medical specialties, most of the time you end up giving bad news or sad news.
Yeah.
But in my specialty, we do give happy news.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that is the pro. The sad news is, human body is imperfect. So you do have miscarriages, cancer diagnosis, or something which patients don't want to hear.
Yeah.
That's in any specialty. And that's the reason. You see a doctor because you are unwell. You don't see a doctor because you are happy.
And that's true. Yeah. Have any patients named their children after you? I think we had a chat about this before.
Two patients.
But I don't know if they count because you said they weren't your full name.
They couldn't use my full name because my name was too long. But what they told me was they will use a few of my surname to start off with their babies' names.
Do you have some examples?
Kara, Kara, which is close to my surname, Karo, Karoshi. So she told me, I believed in her. The other one was Kron, Kron, and he said, your surname matches with my son's name. So I said, all right.
That's really nice. That's really nice. How long does it take you to become a consultant in obs and gynae?
Okay, I mean, my route is different because I'm an Indian. So I did my first half of the training in India and then came over to UK and then I had to redo. It took nearly 18 years to become a consultant after what you're going through. But if it is something like yourself, you need about 10 years after completing your graduation, MBBS.
After F1, F2 or after medical school?
After F1, F2, you need about 7 to 8 years.
Yeah. You said about when you're delivering babies and that special sort of feeling that you get when your patients multiply from 1 to 2. Does that feeling ever get like less and less as you get more senior because you see it every day, or do you feel like you're still excited as you were on your days?
Yeah, I think it's up to you how you take it. If you are a person who get bored doing stereotypical day-to-day same thing again and again, then you will get bored very quickly. But if you take it as a kind of entertaining, enjoy what you do, I still enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing. Have you ever got any odd or weird presents from your patient?
The odd present I received from a patient was this lady was extremely scared of her cesarean being done by a doctor, and I said, I do it for you. I did it.
What do you mean by a doctor?
Because she was scared by her country doctor saying, whoever does your operation, you are at extremely high risk of having a bowel injury or a bladder injury because she had 5 cesareans before.
Yeah.
So I looked after her as usual for other patients, but this one I said, okay, I'll do it for you. And I did it. And luckily, touch wood, it was all fine. And then after a few weeks, midwives told me there's a box waiting for me. Then I said, what box? Then I opened it. There were cufflinks with stethoscope made cufflinks. So I still wear those cufflinks.
That's so cool. Did it have your initials or just the
with my tiny initials at the sides. Yeah. So
that's
cufflinks.
So nice. That's really thoughtful. I haven't just picked a random thing, they've actually personalised it. That's really nice.
Yeah.
If they are interested in getting into this speciality, what is the best thing to do as a medical student and when you're in foundation years? Like audits, projects, clinical fellows or posts? What's the best route?
As you said, audit work, try and publish few papers. It doesn't matter.
It's so hard though. I remember as a student, everyone's already involved in a paper and nobody wants to put other people's names on it, and then I don't know.
I mean, try and meet up with some consultants who are into academics. That way I publish my papers.
Okay.
I also publish 5 books. So
really?
If you have,
books for medical students?
No, it's for doctors in
Midwives.
Obstetrics and Gynaecology.
Is there any of the ones we used? Is there any of the ones in the office?
Textbook of postpartum hemorrhage, obesity in pregnancy, laparoscopy for under-resourced countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other 2? You said 5.
Other 2 I forgot. There are 5 books. I mean, if you compare, let's say, surgery, pediatrics, medicine, getting into obstetrics and gynecology is not that difficult.
Yeah.
But one piece of caution is 30% of trainees who join our department or our specialty, they drop out.
Why do you think that is?
High burnout rate. Okay. And trainees don't realize till they're into the training.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they, at some stage during their 4 or 5 year career, in the middle, they realize it's not for them. Okay.
Do you think that's because of the specialty itself, or just because they haven't coped well with balancing work and other things?
I think if you look at it, things do go wrong. And as a trainee, as you become more and more senior, you start getting exposed.
Yeah.
And you realize that actually this is not for me.
Yeah.
When you're FY1 your level, you're fine.
Never
My best days were at your level, if you ask me.
Because it's never your fault, is it?
No, I mean, even if it is, the exposure is very minimal.
Yeah,
and you've got a lot of layers of defense and coverage.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then you've got lots of support above you.
Support, correct.
Yeah. So what is the scariest highlight of your career so far? Anything in particular that you remember that stuck with you over these years?
I mean, it's a sad story, but if you want me to elaborate, I will elaborate. The most emotional one was registrar in India. And it was about 2 a.m. Patient was transferred from a village because of bleeding. She came to our tertiary center. We found out that she was preeclamptic and she was in labor. We let her labor and deliver. We delivered her, and then she started bleeding. She bled so much that unfortunately she died. And this all happened within a matter of an hour. But what is sad was obviously she died, and then I was helping her to give birth. And outside the delivery room there was husband and his mom, and everybody was waiting for the good news. And the saddest thing was baby was alive, and then mom continued bleeding. So the initial part they were all celebrating, and then after half an hour we did indicate to the relatives that she's bleeding. So
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she died eventually, and patients' relatives were not accompanying her. It was all husband's party was accompanying her. So now she died, and husband has to inform. So we are going back 20 years ago. There were no mobile phones in India. So the closest distance he has to go was post office, which was open 24 hours. So now I had those motorcycle. I have to leave the dead mother with the nurses, and then I have to drive
him to the
post office so that he can
break the bad news
to his wife's relatives.
Yeah,
that is still in my mind. I don't think I'll ever delete it.
So how do you do? I mean, I guess it's not just with obs and gynae, but every specialty, when you come across like these bad things that happen, how do you how do you block that out from your mind enough to carry on to look after other patients?
I think as a doctor, as you grow up, one thing you need to be sure is you have to show resilience, and these things will happen on the way when you're going to be a bigger and bigger, more senior doctor. Lots of family support, friend support, telling them what you're going through.
Being open about it and talking to people.
That helped me, correct,
I don't know if you wanted to talk about a little bit about how the process works from coming from abroad to the UK to do like medicine, because I have lots of international people watching, and they're always asking me questions about the best route to come to the UK to work as a doctor.
The best route to come to the UK to come as a doctor and work is taking PLAB exams, which stands for Professional Language and Aptitude Board Exam. And that will give you license to practice in the UK, and then you have to take qualifying examination like membership of the different colleges.
And when you did come over to the UK, did you have to work in the hospital outside of a training program, or were you able to go straight into a training program?
No way you will get straight into a training program.
That's what they keep asking.
I can guarantee you will never get straight into the training program for many reasons. One of the common reason is visa status. So if you're on a visiting visa status, you automatically you won't score enough points. So you have to have a residential status, and that will automatically put you in the ranking order. There's no way you can break it. Okay. And there's nothing the deanery can do about it. It's stipulated by the government.
Someone's asked about like the smells that you experience on a day-to-day basis. Does it put you off?
The smell receptors get desensitized. Initially, yes, I could smell amniotic fluid.
I can smell it.
Yeah, but so now I've gone. Now it's all normal.
So if it's on your clothes even and you go home with it, you won't smell it?
Not me. My wife says. Yeah, but in reality, they become normal.
I think by the time I get desensitized, I'm going to be on my next job.
Yeah.
And so you said you have kids. Would you want them to go into obs and gynae as well?
My son said he wants to be a doctor. I said, why? He said, I just find it fascinating. Then I warned him that if you're looking at Ferraris and Bentleys, medicine is not for you. Or if you're looking at a lot of big houses with swimming pools and all, medicine is not for you. But if you're looking for a reasonably good life, then you can choose. Then he said, I want this.
I always say that as well, because everyone thinks that medicine pays so much, and actually I don't feel like it's... No. I mean, it's not bad compared to other careers, but the amount of years that you put into the training and the amount of money that you get out of it doesn't really correlate.
Sure, I agree with you. So medicine is not for making money.
Yeah,
because you are involved with people who are deceased, who are having serious problems. So your emotional attachment is more towards how do I fix their medical problem rather than how do I make a lot of money.
Exactly. I think that's really important. Okay, do you have any last things to say before we wrap up?
I think obs and gynae is a very interesting specialty. One thing is you will never be out of job.
That's true.
If you choose a specialty, you don't need to worry 20 years down the line, I will be out of job. For example, radiology, they probably will be out of job.
Because of artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence.
What about as a GP? I think as a GP I'll always be in a job.
But you still need a GP to guide patients.
I've made a good decision.
But I don't think artificial intelligence will be smart enough to apply forceps and deliver babies or do a cesarean. So
I mean, you don't want to lose that human touch to medicine either.
Correct.
You don't want everything to be like computerized.
Correct. So that way we are safe.
Yeah.
At least I'm safe to retirement.
Yeah, you'll be okay until you retire. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on my channel.
Thank you.
I'll link your Instagram and your webpage in the description below, so you can check out Mr Karoshi's Instagram and everything.
Thank you, and good luck with your work. I really appreciate. I've seen some of your videos. Very inspiring.
Thank you.
Keep the good work.
Thank you. And we're off to surgery again now. We're just going to get a bit of a break, aren't we?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Let me see what